Thanks, Mike.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Here we are. This is the show with me, and it's called Mike's Daily Podcast. And here we are, located somewhere in Podcastro Valley, the last place on earth. It's episode 2505. That's the episode that I'm live on with Mike's Daily Podcast Cafe. Anyway, somewhere in Podcastro Valley. Did I say all that? Yes, I did. But you know, that's okay because I have to often repeat myself in order to be understood, in order to be heard, in order to say things. Hey, the last show I had a beautiful picture from a cloud falls, the Middle Falls. If you're up in the area near Mount Shasta and you walk along McCloud Falls, it is such a beautiful, wonderful, relaxing hike. And then you get to the falls and you stick your feet in the water and go, oh, that's pretty dang cold. But after a while, you get used to it. It's pretty remarkable. I was there up to my waist in it, and I was somehow not screaming. Well, when I first got in it, I was screaming, but oh, so beautiful, wonderful trip. Just a few weeks ago, it was 2 weeks ago actually, that I was up there. My, how time flies. But I'm not here to talk about time. I'm here to talk about horses. Yes, we talked about Doc Happy, the wonderful horse that somehow manipulates pushes away your bad energy or some weird wacko thing. But it was interesting. When I met the horse, I talked about that in a recent podcast up in the Bay Area. Equine therapy, I think they call it. So I decided I would return the favor by actually helping a horse that looked like he was in need. Now, I was walking.
And here's today's podcast picture.
And I won't post a picture from where I was walking, though I have posted a picture of this place before, but I will post a picture from the Mount Shasta trip that I did 2 weeks ago. Maybe a picture from exactly 2 weeks ago. How about that? But as I was walking on my little walk in the Podcastro Valley Hills, just above the town, the little area called Columbia, though that there is no resemblance to Columbia whatsoever, just a bunch of houses they decided to call Columbia. And I'm walking along back there. It's a place I took the late great Basil the Boxer. Even in his last year, I was taking him up there, and we were walking along. And he said hi to the horses, Emma and Dice, up there. And the horses live so long. It's amazing. Not as long as birds or tortoises. But at any rate, cafe anyway. I'm walking along on my own little walk on Monday. And I look over, and I think this was after I did the last podcast. I've taken a couple days off. And I look over, and there's this area that's fenced off, but part of the trail that belongs to the East Bay Regional Park District. And I see a horse in a really tiny corral. And it really upset me. I'm thinking, uh-oh. So I made a call to the East Bay Regional Park District. I left a message on a voicemail. And today I actually I called them on Tuesday. I got an email back. And I will withhold certain names, like who emailed me back. But it said, so-and-so asked me to respond to your call regarding a horse penned up in an enclosure near Coal Canyon Regional Recreation Area. Based on your description of the location of the pen, I believe the horse is being kept on private property. Well, I disagree. Because that area belongs to East Bay Regional Park District. You can see it on the map that it belongs to it. That East Bay Regional Park District puts out the map that's online. It says, once you are 100 yards north of Bellhurst Lane, you are on private property. even though the East Bay Regional Trail passes through the area. East Bay Ridge Trail. I have called the Cold Canyon Park staff and will pass on any information they know about the horse. So that's nice. Somebody got back to me. But I did not like what I saw, and I had to say something about it. And I think that's normal. I have been the recipient in the past of people who have complained. Oh, Mike, hey, by the way, so-and-so complained about you. Well, what'd they say? They said, actually, this hasn't happened very often, but that's why we have the section on the podcast, emails from email and your calm and not so comments. Maybe you don't have a calm comment for me. That's fine. We'd love to hear it. And to do that, you can email Joe Rogan at joerogan.com. Just kidding. You can email me MikesDailyPodcast at gmail.com. Ha ha ha. See what I did there. Or you can call me 336MM Daily. That's 3 plus 3 equals 6. MM as in Mike Matthews. Daily as in what this podcast has not been for the past 2 days. But hopefully I'll get back into it and bring it to you daily. Because we had about a 5-day streak. That's a week. That's pretty good. Another person, by the way, the complaint I got, and it is so funny because it was a program that was on a local religious station, and I talked to a host who knew this other host, or who listened to this other host. And this guy was saying, hey, what happened? Whatever happened to so-and-so? And I go, oh, so-and-so got into trouble because so-and-so said some crazy things on the radio, on the religious radio station. He said, oh, I used to tune in just because I wanted to hear what she would say. And this was a pastor that told me that. He was like, I couldn't wait to hear what the so-and-so had to say. So as we go outside a cafe anyway, we're bringing Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcastro Valley, the last place on earth.
Anyway.
And then I told him that, well, once upon a time, this so-and-so host, I was producing so-and-so's show, and so-and-so had a guest on, and so-and-so had 2 segments of the show. And we get to, so the first segment is done, and so-and-so says goodbye to her guest. And I go, okay, that's interesting. So the guest hangs up. And I go, okay, now you have one more segment to go, so go ahead and start recording. Here we go. And so-and-so said, what? Yeah, you have a second segment to your show. What? Yeah, you need to, keep talking. Because you pay for the time, so you might as well keep talking. And so-and-so said to me, oh, well, you completely misled me. I thought I had already done 2 segments. What are you talking about? No, I just told you that was the first one. Now we're about to you should have told me we only did 1 segment. I just told you that. And this went on and on and on. And so-and-so even went and talked to a coworker of mine in front of my face. Said, oh, you know what Mike did? Mike totally misled me. And everybody was like, oh, so-and-so is so funny. I just bit my tongue. I said, okay. A couple years later, so-and-so decides so-and-so's had enough and left the radio station because so-and-so got complaints about the show that so-and-so was saying, and was saying some things that people were getting upset about, and they didn't want to deal with it anymore, so off they went. But the pastor remembered so-and-so. At any rate, it's good to speak up. Not always fun to be the recipient of what's being spoken up about, but for example, there is a television show that my lovely lady friend and I were watching on Acorn TV. It's something you can get through Amazon. You gotta pay extra. It's kind of stupid. At any rate, we're watching the show. It's called Recipes for Love and Murder. And we liked the show because it told the story of a small town in South Africa, and it looked like it actually used local actors It had an interesting storyline about a lady who wrote recipes, and then an advice column for the local paper. And then there's all kinds of this weird murder takes place, and it's actually one of the ladies that the writer had written about had responded to her, given her advice in the paper, and the woman ends up dead. Not the columnist, but the person, the reader. And so everybody's trying to solve this murder, and then somebody else gets murdered. Anyway, towards the end, and this had beautiful, whenever the columnist was making a recipe, they would she'd basically be describing what she did, and the food looked so amazing. But the very last episode was so badly done, and the actors just all turned into morons. And my lovely lady friend and I are screaming at the TV. Just, oh my gosh. What is happening? Why did everybody turn to complete idiot? What happened to these characters? So, I got so mad, and I've joked often about, someday I'm going to call them. I'm going to somehow track down who did the show, and I'm going to complain. Well, I did it. I figured it out. I went to Acorn TV, and after going through a couple pages, I finally found a Contact Us page. And though they didn't have a section to say, a drop-down menu that said, here's where you can respond and tell us and give us feedback on the programs that we supply, it was actually a drop-down menu for problems with audio and video playback. And I wrote the following. We just finished watching all of Recipes for Love and Murder. The final episode was horrible. All the characters suddenly turned into morons. The dialogue was terrible. Such a shame when the other episodes were so well done. Please pass this along to someone working with that show. Thank you. And I thought that would be it. It wasn't. They got back to me and they wrote, "Hello, Mike. Thanks for your feedback. Acorn TV takes all viewer comments seriously. We will pass these along for further consideration. Thank you for your time to share your opinion." Thank you for taking the time to share your opinion. And my lovely lady friend laughed and said, yeah, they were probably laughing because you actually wasted time writing them with your opinion. And I thought, well, I know. I waste my time doing so many stupid things like waiting in traffic on Mission Boulevard trying to get home from Fremont that I am allowed to make a stupid email to complain about something. Why not? And be petty in this world of just all kinds of craziness. And finally, the Trump gets subpoenaed, and to which Trump responds, "Hey, why didn't you just talk to me and ask me to show up? I would have talked to y'all." I'm paraphrasing. I would have talked to y'all. Instead, you had to make this huge kabuki theater, this nothing burger, this whatever terms they love to use on the right. And you just wasted a bunch of time. And all you've done is, and he said this, I know this for sure. He said, you've only added to the divisiveness in this country, or something to that effect, of dividing the country. And then you laugh because you realize, well, no, this was all done over something that happened on January 6th that really did divide the country. That was over a division because you would not accept the results of the election. But there it goes. But to what I say to that, people go, no, Mike, the election was rigged. There are really smart Democrats that know how to hack an election. Or are they Russians? Did the Russians not want Trump to win? Wait, I thought the Russians wanted Trump to win. Why didn't the Russians help out? At any rate, it's all crazy. Maybe it is all kabuki theater. But what I wanted to play for you was the segment, Let's Go Back with Matthews. And we're going to go back in time, but first we're going to say hi to some people. Hi, Mac. It's Benita the Rodeo Queen. How y'all doing?
It's a Disgruntled Fiddle Player, tell you what.
What?
You get me so angry when you put down Trump like that. Everybody is trying to put down Trump. And they just need to leave him alone. Leave all his finances alone. And whatever. He's a businessman. He makes decisions that you are not capable of making, Mike Matthews. Your brain does not have that processing power to take care of any issues that have to do with money.
Yep. Boy, you're talking so close to my face.
I'll talk even closer if I have to. I'm trying to make a point that you need to back off of Donald J. Trump.
Donald J. Trump. Donald Juniper Trump.
That's not what it is.
Okay, then what is his middle name for?
It's John.
Oh, it's so simple. 45th president. Any rate, cafe, any rate. That's whatever. Politics. See, but politicians, just that whole matter of politics, just so upsetting. So let's back away from it. Because let's be friends. And please back away from me, Disgruntled Fiddle Player.
I'm trying, but you smell good.
Well, look who else is here.
Hello, Mike. I make delicious root beer. Have some right now.
Oh, thank you.
Drink it right now. Cookie.
I would love to. Hey, now it's time for the segment that is called Let's Go Back with Matthews. Mike Matthews. Here we go. So, we're going to go back to the early 2000s. And there was a program that a lot of the characters that you hear on this show came from this show that is entitled The Santa Fe Cafe. I did it on a country radio station. And a lot of the characters that you hear today came from that wonderful program. Now, what I'm going to do is play you a little clip from the early 2000s.
Need to show you.
Do you remember the early 2000s? Remember the O's? Remember country music? So here we go. Here's a little bit of that. Let's go back in time. Way, way back. Let's go back with Matthews to who just texted me. And this better not be somebody telling me that they can't come in tomorrow or they can't tie their shoelaces. Oh, no. No, I'm going to... That's so upsetting. Anyway, I can't go into it here. So let's go back in time to a much simpler place in the 2000s.
Diagram to explain exactly what I mean, but it gets really nasty. So we're walking out to the map bus. Here's Felix the Maestro.
Yeah, where to, Matt?
The KH Santa Fe Cafe. Felix, let's move
If
on.
this thing goes less than 50 miles an hour, my bladder's gonna explode.
I don't think it gets over 15 miles an hour.
Oh, don't let his evil wiles and cunning.
Hey! Yeah.
Welcome to the Santa Fe Cafe.
Thank you, Jeremy.
On 100.7 KHAY Ventura.
Okay. Winona on the way, Alabama, Faith Hill, Alan Jackson. This is John Michael Montgomery, Be My Baby, and my Matt Michaels. Let's get this party started. Santa Fe Cafe Country Cantina.
Wow. Yes, a lot going on there.
Where are you now? Where what the heck?
Right.
What? Is that the name of it? Is what the heck?
I think so.
Yes, the new Martina McBride. Where would you be is what it's called there.
There you go.
Is that out to anybody?
No.
Okay.
Like,
She's got some good vocals.
melt it out like nobody else.
650 KHAY.
That was a request for Martina McBride's Where Would You Be? All right, and let's listen to one more thing. I can't believe what the text that I just got.
Yeah. Where Martina McBride's latest. It's 100.7 KHAY. I'm at Michael's. I'm at the KH Santa Fe Cafe, the KH Cafe. Question tonight: what was your worst Charlie horse experience? Well, hello, John Deere, the engineer. What do you got to do? You got to unplug something. You got to fix something. What? I decided I'm going to reroute all the electrical outlets and put them in a completely different circuit breaker. Mm-hmm. Matt, I need you to move. Oh, no. What is it? My brother's here.
All you people think the people at home are stupid.
That's Simon from, Yes, that TV show on Fox American Idol. Wow, I didn't know you guys are related.
All you people think the people at home are stupid.
That's all he says all the time, man. Wow, that's great. Well, I am flattered to meet him, Winona.
And that was Winona Judd. Oh, she's had a rough year. Okay. And that was John Deere, the engineer. He will be on... Oh, he was on the last podcast. That must have been back when American Idol first started. That's how long ago. And now, the final segment on the show, which is called the Mike Matthews New Tunes Feud. 2 songs that are going to duke it out. We're going to fight it. Duke it out? I don't know exactly what that expression comes from. I don't even think I want to know how that expression came about. Let's see. To physically fight with, to contend with someone or something. There you go. As a boxing thing? It came from that, maybe? Let's see. It doesn't tell me where it came from, just how to... It's an American English expression, apparently, is where it originated from. And if we go to the free dictionary, maybe it'll tell us... Nope, doesn't say. Duke it out. Fascinating expression, to duke it out. Okay. Because, I mean, where else do we use duke as a verb? But I got sidetracked. Okay, so here is a song, as 2 songs are fighting each other. This is Grimelda of the Faps. There's a band called the Faps. The collaborative art punk meets freak rock project of Blair Colwell and Skylar Caffaretta from Saskatoon. After 10 years in the making, we've set our sights on global expansion, innovative musical collabs, and a live show that is even more refined and unhinged. Expect to be pleasantly annoyed and excited by a louder, weirder, and wilder duo that forever lurks in plain sight. We're back with a new single called George Thorogood. Why is it called George Thorogood? Because we're all George Thorogood. Okay. Shall we listen to it? I think we should. Here we go. The video is very amusing, I must say. So did you like that song by Grimelda? Or did you like this one by another Toronto-based person or another Canadian? I'm a Toronto-based recording artist releasing music under the name Castle Frank. As I prepare my debut record for 2023 in collaboration with producers Nixon Boyd and Matt Lederman, I'd love for you to check out my new single, Just Kids, is lighthearted and fun, with its mid-tempo dance beats and bright, buzzy synths. Let's listen, shall we? All right, so that's Castle Frank. Which one did you like better? Grimelda or Castle Frank. And I was at Castle Lake recently. Call me 336-MM Daily. That's 3 + 3 = 6. MM as in Mike Matthews, Daily as in what this podcast will try to be if his employees don't drive him insane.
Call now. 336-MM Daily.
Seriously. I did a podcast a week ago and the exact same thing happened. This is ridiculous. All right. Next show, we'll hear from, who is it? Madame Rootabega, Valentino, and Bison Bentley. That's right. And for more ways to reach me, it's A-Frame.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at MikesDailyPodcast.com. Email Mike now at MikesDailyPodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!